So we will start. This is our first lecture on compiler design. So we will start compiler design, and today we will see all this topic: introduction of the compiler designing, and the applications of the compiler, different type of compiler, what may be the different type of compilers, and what are the different applications of compiler, and different phases of compiler. Got it? So if you say what is the compiler, so if you write the definition of the compiler, so if you write the definition of the compiler, then we can say it's a system software. So it's an system software So compiler is a system software. First of all, compiler is a system software. ঠিক আছে? To convert a source program to target source language program. To target language program. So you can say this will be the very simple definition of compiler. Clear? So it's a system software. It convert a source language program. This is the first language. Got it? And it will to target language program. So this will the second language. So when you convert a particular program that is written in one language and we will convert it into the another language, that is called the compiler. So basically we familiar with about compiler in C programming. So when you study the C programming or the fundamental of the computer, then we know that this is called the translator. So there are two type of translator. So when one type of code is converted to another type of code, that is called the translator. So we can say we are familiar with the term translator. So what are the different type of translators? So there are basically two important type of translators. Translator. So there are basically we are familiar with two type of translator. One is called interpreter and another is compiler. So one is interpreter, another is compiler. So basically we heard the term compiler in the C programming language. So C is a compiler. So we write down the high level programming language. In high level programming language we write the code, that is the English type language, and this will be the input of a compiler and the output is the machine code. So the output is the machine code. Clear? So this is called the compiler, and the difference between compiler interpreter. So far actually I am telling you up to this level we are familiar with the term compiler in this relation. Got it? But this subject is solely dedicated for the compiler designing. That's mean here we will study how a compiler actually design, how we can design a compiler. So basically we will see the compiler in the different perspective. What about the perspective? So far we seen the compiler, that is the very simple perspective. What was that perspective? I am discussing that thing. Actually you have the perspective of compiler this way. That's mean compiler is a system software, and the example of the compiler is C compiler. C compiler takes the C program, .C program, and it generates the machine code, and that machine code is the executable code that will be executed in the system. And also you know that compiler compile the program or convert or translate the high level programming to machine level at a stage. That means the whole program will be taken, and at a time we convert it into the machine code. But interpreter also one kind of translator. It also translate one program to another type of program. That's mean from the high level programming to machine code. But that also the interpreter. So example of interpreter, you may say the VB is an interpreter. Java also can be treated as an interpreter. So interpreter means when it will translate the code line by line. That's mean the interpreter takes a single line of the high level programming language and convert it into machine code for a single line. Then it takes the next line, it convert it into the machine code for the next line. But compiler takes the whole program, and at a time it will generate the code. So this was our the perspective to see the compiler. But here we have to elaborate our perspective to see the compiler, and we will see that if I ask you what is the number of compiler, can you say how many compilers are there? How many compilers are there? But from your own perspective, if you try to answer this question, then what you will imagine? You will imagine that C language is a compiler, so there will be definitely a few number of programming language in the world. So the compiler, the number of compiler also will be countable. The number of compiler also will be countable. So far you have this idea, maybe this idea that compiler may be countable. So how many compiler will be there? There may be 20 language, 30 language, 40 language, 50 language, different programming language. So that much of compiler will be there. But here we will see that actually the number of compiler is not countable. It's an uncountable number of compilers are present in this world, because compiler are not just these things. That's mean from it's not only used in a programming language, it may be used in another different applications also. That's why you can say that compiler is an parts and parcel of our daily life. So if you work in the software domain, then you can see that the compiler is everywhere. There are large number of compilers, and the applications of compiler are enormous. When we discuss the application of the compiler, then we will see the compiler can be used in different way. Here it's only application. That's mean transformation of high level programming to machine level programming. That's mean the code generation. This code generation is only one application, but there are so many applications in the real life of the compiler. And also you will see that the relation, the software job, there are so many software jobs or in industry, those are basically require the concept of the compiler. That's mean the high level software industry coding, or you may say that the development that deals with the compiler type concept. So compiler is a very important subject in the computer science. If you talk about the computer science as an domain, then you can say it's a very important subject, compiler. Got it? And gradually we will understand why it is so important. And another thing, I think I already mentioned these things. I already shared this concept with you in previous classes also, some previous classes also. That's mean if you talk about the computer science, then computer science have three important pillars. computer science have three important pillars. That's mean if you talk about the computer engineering, it has three important pillars. One is computer organization architecture, another is operating system, another is compiler. So actually what is the purpose of the software engineering domain or the computer engineering domain? Its purpose is to execute the program, to execute the software. So to execute a software, you require a hardware. Without the hardware, you cannot execute a program or software. So that's why the concept of organization and architecture is very, very essential, because if you don't know the machine by which you will execute the programming or coding or software, you cannot understand the whole whole scenario of the system. That's why computer organization architecture is very important to understand the system. And then what will happen? Whatever the program you will write, whatever the software you will develop, that software basically use a programming language. You will develop a software using any of the programming language, and all programming language must that means you are writing your program or software in high level programming language, but your machine will not understand it. Your machine cannot understand your high level program, English type language. What about the coding you are writing in the high level programming language, whether it may be C or Java or any other programming language? Actually you are writing the code in terms of high level programming like English type language. So your machine is unable to understand that thing. Machine only can understand the 0 and 1 binary numbers, and that's why there is a series of translation. Your high level programming will be translated into different steps, and ultimately it will be converted into the machine code, and your system will execute that instruction. So it's obvious that to execute a software you have to understand the compiler. So that's why compiler is another important pillar of the computer science. And obviously another subject I told you, that is the operating system. Why? Because without the operating system you cannot execute a system, you cannot run a system. You have an hardware, you also have an software, but you cannot run that software on the hardware without the help of the operating system. So that's why operating system is the bridge between the hardware and software. That's why that also another important subject to understand the whole scenario. That's why these three subjects are the three important pillars of the computer science. So it's clear that compiler is so important for an software engineer, and you as a student you can overlook this subject. You cannot study this subject that much level, but it's clear that once you will be working in the real life in the software industry, then you will understand that the concept of the software compiler is so important, because so many things in the industry actually the software are developed in terms of the concept of compiler is very, very important. We will see those things when we discuss the applications of these things. I think this concept will be more clear to you, or you will realize the things more clearly. So this may be the very simple definition of the compiler. Now what will be the input and outputs of the compiler? So compiler is a system software. What will be the inputs and what will be the outputs in the compiler, open compiler? So if you draw the input and output of the compiler, then it may be written this way. So suppose this is your compiler. So this is your compiler. And your input is the target language. Your input is the target program. And what will be the output? This will be the source program. This is the source program. So input is the source program, and output is the target program. So if it's the system software compiler, then it's the source program and its output is the target program, and along with it may produce two different output. One output is the error message, and another output is the warning. Okay, so warning. So when you execute a C program in the C compiler, then you see that we can either get the output, otherwise we get another two thing, that is, sometime if there is an error we get the error message, otherwise we get some warning type message. Warning is not the error. Warning means your program will be executed, but in terms of input and output there may be some problem. So these may be the input and output of an compiler. So this is the system software, and its input is the target program, source program, and output is the target program, and as a byproduct you can get the error message and the warning. Now clear? Now see one thing, this compiler I already told you that so far we have the perception about the compiler. Our perception is that compiler is used only in the programming language. That means we have a programming language, and to execute the program on that programming language we require compiler or interpreter. So basically this is our concept about the compiler. So what we think? We think that always this input will be some program and output will be some machine code or assembly code, whatever, the another type of language will be the output. But here we will see that the compiler also can take input of a software also. So suppose you will there is a software. Suppose this is the software 1. So suppose this is the software 1, and this is the software 2. So this is the software 1 and software 2. And now what will happen? The output of the software 1 will enter into the input as the software 2. Suppose software 2 will take the input that will be the output of the software 1. Clear? So that's mean one software produce some output, and that will be input of another software. Clear? So now what will happen? Sometime this output generated by this software cannot be understood by the another software. So what will be the output that cannot be understood by the another software? Clear? Then what we will do? We have to translate this output. We have to translate its output such a way that it can be understood by the another software. So here there should have some translation. So you have to use some software or some software. You can say it's the software or program that will translate. So translator. So here you can use a translator to translate the input of an output of one software as the input of the another software. This translator also can called as the compiler. So this translator actually it's also can call be the compiler. So this is the reason. That's why the number of compiler is not defined. So I told you the number of compiler is not defined number. It's the infinite numbers of compiler are present in the real life domain, because there are so many that kind of applications in the software industry that the people require to write their own compiler. It's not writing a new language. Suppose C is a language, it have some compiler already designed, somebody designed this compiler. Now if I ask you to design a compiler, it does not mean that you will discover a new language or you will write a new language and you will write a compiler. For your software industry also, in small applications also, that's mean this kind of application, this one kind of application, here also you need to write a compiler. So in this way, in our real life there are so many compilers are used in the real life. That's why designing of compiler, what is our subject? Our subject name is compiler designing. So how to design a compiler? If you can understand that thing, then you also can design your own compiler in your own application. It may be writing a new programming language or writing another, but it's really not so easy. It's difficult task, but most of the powerful software engineering job or the very valuable engineering job or software industry, the people, those who code or write the code in the very valuable codes, basically somehow they are involved some writing of compiler. So in the software industry there are so many different type of works. Some people are just writing the application programs, and some people are involving writing this kind of code. Actually sometimes we classify the job, this is a very good job or bad job or comparatively not so level. You already know that recruiting in after recruiting in the very reputed MNC also, people just do their they do their job in the Excel sheet. That's mean data entry operation, maybe a type of job in the IT industry also. So in IT industry also there are different level of their duty or their jobs. So some people are involving writing this kind of so this is a complex code. Writing you can understand easily that writing a compiler is not so easy task. It's a very complex task. So that's the value of that job is high. The pay also will be high. Clear? So compiler designing is from here we can understand that understanding the compiler or understanding the principle of designing a compiler may be very useful in your future also. So as an engineer, computer science engineer, if you have some concept in the compiler, then it may help you in future very huge. So that's and another thing you should remember that in GATE syllabus also compiler also one of the important paper included in the GATE syllabus also. So compiler also a subject in GATE syllabus in computer science also. Okay. So now we will see what are the different types of applications of the compiler. I told you that there are enormous number of compilers present in the real life. It's not the infinite number of compilers. It's not that all about the 100 compilers or 50 compilers or 200 compilers. There is the uncountable compilers are there. So that's why the applications of compiler will be different types of. Now let's see what are the different types of application that can be used by a compiler. So by discussion of these things, again our perception of compiler will be increased. That's mean compiler is not so simple thing. It's a very that's mean you can say it's a parts and parcel of the software industry. So application of the compiler. Applications of the compiler. The number one application of the compiler is code conversion. So there are so many applications of the compiler. So number one is the machine code generation. Machine code generation. So what happens? Your system will understand the machine code. So machine code actually in forms of binary codes. Is the binary codes. We know that ultimately whatever the code you are writing for your software or your program, you have to translate that program into the machine code. Ultimately you have to translate in the machine code. So in primitive computers, that's mean in the early age of computer system there is no compiler. It's a very interesting thing, and you know that the first compiler written in the year of 1950. The first compiler written in the year of 1950. And do you know what is the first compiler? Do you know in 1950s what was the first compiler written in the software industry? You know that. You know that. You know the term. You heard the term. But do you know what is the first compiler? What is the first compiler? Do you know? Hello? 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 What was the first compiler? Do you know? Anybody? No. No. The first compiler is the Fortran. You heard that language Fortran? Fortran? Okay. So Fortran that means formula translator. Formula translator. The full form of Fortran is formula translator. So Fortran, what is the spelling of Fortran? FOR. 4 comes from the formula. FOR comes from the formula, and translator is that. So this is the Fortran. FORTRN. Fortran is a programming language. I think definitely you heard this term. Fortran, Basic, COBOL. You heard this term. So Fortran is the first compiler that written in 1950s. So before 1950s, computer also was there. So before 1950s, there was computer also. So so what is the utility of computer? Computer is not just a mere hardware. So it's not that you made a computer hardware and people will come in your museum and will see the computer and go back. It's not the computer is discovered to run the program or software. So before compiler, how people execute the code? Actually, on those days, the people actually written the machine code in hand. That means we know that the computer only understand the machine code 0101. This the binary code is the machine code. So people actually on those days written their machine code in your own hand. So you can imagine it's so complex things. So nowadays you are writing a very large program, just writing a 10 lines or 15 lines or 20 lines. But if you have to convert those things in the machine code, then just imagine what is the terrible thing it will be. So this is the machine code that actually understand the computer. Then actually to simplify these things, the next level is called the assembly programming. So assembly programming. So what is the example of the assembly programming? Add A, comma B, sub, multiply, move. So all these are this way. This is called the mnemonics. So this way, when we write the program, that is called the assembly programming. And so nowadays we actually don't write the programming assembly code also. We whatever the software we actually develop, we never use the assembly programming, because again also writing a program in assembly programming is very difficult, very complex. You can simply understand it. So to simplify these things, again people discovered the high level programming language. So actually nowadays we are writing the program or software in high level programming language. Now understand that you are writing high level programming language, ultimately you have to convert into the machine code. So how you will convert it? This is called the translator. So you have to take help of some other software. Those software will take your program and it will translate it. This is called the system software. All these are called the system software. And compiler also one software. So sometime from the hardware high level programming language we can convert into the machine code without converting in the assembly code. Sometime from the high level programming language it can convert in the assembly programming. Sometimes from the assembly programming we can convert into the machine code. So in every level there will be there is association of some system software. Those system softwares are called the compiler. So that's why the application of compiler, one of the important application of the compiler is called the machine code generation. Machine code generation. So you are writing the program in assembly programming or high level programming, using the compiler you actually convert that code into the machine code. That's why this is one of the important application of the compiler. So what is the application? Application is called the machine code generation. Clear? So machine code generation concept is, I think it should be very easy. You understood the concept, machine code generation. Next application. So next application of the compiler, maybe you may say is the format conversion. So second application of the compiler is the format conversion. Format conversion. So what is the format conversion? I already told you that suppose there is a software. This is the software 1 and this is the software 2, and the output of one software will be the input of another software, but this format cannot be understood by the another software. So that's why in between we have to use a translator. This translator convert the one software to another, the understandable code of the another software. That is called the format conversion. That means format of this output will be converted into another format. That's why that's why this what is the reason, what is the purpose? Purpose is just to make that code understandable by the other software. So this kind of application is called the format conversion. So format conversion is another application of the compiler. So these are the two important application of the compiler. Next application of the compiler. What is the next application of the compiler? So the next application of the compiler is called the silicon compilation. So this is the another. So you just see that this application, the different domain of the application actually are the different domain of software industry. Is the very interesting thing. These different domain actually have a big domain of the different software industry. So this is a very large domain of the software industry where this kind of code conversion is actually the engineers required to do this kind of code conversion, and so many people are engaged in the software industry just to do this kind of thing. And obviously the machine code generation, that's been this is the development like C programming, development like C++, development like Python programming, development like Java programming. So this kind of enormous programming language is available in the world. So writing this programming language also another domain of the software industry. Many great people are involved in this domain. So whatever the domain we are discussing, this becomes a very large domain of the software industry. Silicon, the silicon compilation, the next application, that also itself another industry in the software. So this is the silicon compiler, the compilation. Silicon compilation. So when we studied the Verilog in the last semester, in the previous year, last year, when we studied the subject computer organization and its lab, I already discussed the concept of the Verilog. In the introduction of the Verilog class, I already told you there is an industry that is called the electronic design automation industry. Electronic design automation industry. In electronic design automation industry, the simulator, different type of simulator, that is called the CAD tool, computer aided design tool. CAD tool, CAD, computer aided design tool, CAD tool. So CAD tool, there are so many, very few. There are very few industry, very reputed few industry in the world. Actually, they work in this field to designing the CAD tool. So here also we says that if you want to design a new chip, that's mean a new processor or any kind of chip. And nowadays within a single area, within a small area, there are billions of transistors are actually embedded here. So these things is not possible for designing or any the manually it's not possible. Not only for the fabrication, it's not possible to design also. So to facilitate those things, there are different CAD tool, computer aided design tool. So basically this CAD tool take the input from a Verilog code, that is a Verilog code as the input, and it generate the output of another CAD tool. So there are so many CAD tools are actually work in series. So one CAD tool takes the input of a Verilog program, and the output also a Verilog program, and it goes into the another CAD tool. So basically these CAD tools are compiler. Basically these CAD tools are the compiler, and this kind of compilers are called the silicon compilation. And this is really a very valuable industry, valuable software industry, very high paid software industry, silicon compilation. So this is the another application of the compiler. Then the fourth application is called the query optimization. So this terms comes in the DBMS. Query optimization. So query optimization, we know that in real life that database management system is used in any software, any application. Most of the application use the backend database, and to handle those backend database we require the SQL query. So SQL query, to simplify this SQL query, to optimize this SQL query, one kind of system software is required. That system software is called the query optimization. The purpose of that system software is query optimization. You have to optimize the query such, what is the purpose of optimization? The purpose of the optimization, as you can execute your query in short term. There is a database, because in real life you have to work on a very large database, So working on a large database, executing the SQL query on large database can be very tricky. That means you are writing a query for an particular requirement, and that query can take some amount of time, but your requirement always is to reduce that time. How you can reduce that time? By optimizing the query that already you written. So there are so many concepts for optimization of the your SQL query. So that is called the query optimization. So this is another very important domain in the software industry. So this is the another application of the compiler, and another application, and the last application of another application we can say this is the fourth application. This was the fourth application. The fifth application we can say text conversion. You can say it is the text formatting. You should say it is text formatting. Text formatting. So there is some softwares. Those are called the LaTeX. You may heard the term LaTeX. So LaTeX is an text formatting software. So in this LaTeX you will give the text embedded with some formatting command, and then it's compiled that text to convert it into the required format. So that type of software also one type of compiler. That also one type of compiler. But if you use the Linux system, then also this kind of formatting text formatting software also used there also. So these are the different type of some important applications in the compiler. So from here we can understand, we just can imagine that compiler is not a very small domain. It's not only about the C programming compiler, it's a very integrated part of the software industry, or you can say that without this concept, the software, you cannot imagine about the software industry. So it's not so it's a very important domain. in the software computer science, you can say in the software domain, also you can say in the computer science and engineering, it's also a very important domain. So this is the thing. Now we will see, actually our subject is not to understanding the compiler, actually we will understand how to design the compiler. How, so in our syllabus in this subject, actually we will learn the different phases of the designing of the compiler. If you want to design a compiler from the scratch, then what may be the different phases. So that's why we can write down the different phases of designing of the compiler. So let's see what are the different phases of a compiler. Phases of compiler. The first phase of compiler designing is called the lexical analysis. Actually all these phases will be treated as a different chapter of this subject. So one phase is called lexical analysis. Lexical analysis. This is the number one phase. Number two phase is syntax analysis. Syntax analysis. Number three phase is semantic analysis. Semantic analysis. And number four phase is called the intermediate code generation. Intermediate code generation. And the number fifth phase is called the target code generation. Target code generation. And the sixth phase is called the code optimization. Code optimization. And next phase is called the symbol table management. Symbol table. And the last phase is called the error handling. Error handling, and the last code is the error handling. So these are the different phases you can say in the course of the compiler design. So if you want to learn to design a compiler from the scratch, then